a Sunsplash Saturday in Chapel Hill. Let's settle the series. Two top 25 teams going at it. North Carolina victorious yesterday after Boston College took the series opener Thursday night. Now these two ranked foes meet for a series win here today. A check of the ACC standings after the victory yesterday. North Carolina vaults up to third. Boston College one game behind. The winner of this game today holds the tiebreaker between the two the rest of the way. Hey there, folks. Glad you're with us. He's Wayne McDonald. My name is Matt Krause. And Wayne, if this game is anything like the competitiveness of the first two, we're in for a good one today.
Oh, absolutely. We've had a great combination of high-quality pitching, timely hitting, situational hitting, you name it, and expect another good one today here in Chapel Hill.
The common denominator of all three games of this series, Boston College starting a left-handed pitcher. At times this year, that's been North Carolina's kryptonite. They handled it well yesterday.
Well, because North Carolina made the necessary adjustments from their performance on Thursday night into last night's ball game, and it paid off great dividends across the board.
6 extra base hits for the Tar Heels in the series evening win yesterday. A key for success for Carolina yesterday as well, limiting the impact of the powerful Nick Wang. 11 home runs on the season. Carolina's kept him in the ballpark all weekend.
That has been the key to success when it comes to neutralizing Nick Wang's power. He has not left the ballpark all series. Let's hope if you're North Carolina, that trend can continue throughout today.
So Boston College, as the head coaches play chess with one another, how do they get Wang going? They bump him up into the 2 spot in the order behind the man who started this series leading the ACC in hits in Julio Solier.
I think that's a brilliant move by Coach Interdonato, putting Wang right behind Solier. It gives Solier a little more advantage and gives him a little more motivation to get on base for the powerful Wang.
Boston College, 65 stolen bases as a team. The Eagles have not stolen a base all series. Each of these teams have won 3 of their first 4 series in ACC play. Only one of them will make that 4 out of 5. Rubber game underway from Chapel Hill. First pitch from Folger. Boaz is fouled off. Boaz, the left-hander for the Tar Heels. Wayne, he did not make it out of the 3rd inning last time out against Notre Dame. Carolina hoping for more length today.
Just for not only for Boaz going forward, but really to rest the bullpen. It's been a real challenging series for North Carolina, and they really need the high-level pitchability for him. That 5-pitch mix is going to be important, but most importantly, seeing that new weapon, the cutter.
0-2 on Solier, leadoff man for BC. Solier 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday. BC as a team managed just 3 hits in the 5-2 defeat. BC did not have a hit until the 7th inning against a couple of Tar Heel pitchers in yesterday's game. Jeremy Riggs, our home plate umpire, does not give the call to Boaz. Catcher Colin Hynek, who DH'd the first couple of games of the series, liked the placement. Boaz ahead in the count. Swinging and a miss, and Boaz starts his afternoon with a swinging K.
It's exactly what Boaz needed. On the 4 pitches, a 3 strikeout there on the 3. Well done by Boaz. Let's look at the location here. Perfect placement, right in under the hands. Solier couldn't handle it.
Solier strikes out, and Nick Wang will hit with the bases empty. 25 home runs as a team for Boston College this year. Nearly half of them, 11, come from the graduate first baseman. Nick Wang, a season-ending injury after just 15 games last year, was placed into a coach role for the rest of the year, granted an extra year of eligibility. Todd Interdonato, the head coach of the Eagles, calls him the unquestioned leader of this team.
Big key to their success this season has been small ball baseball, with Wang being really the sole primary, power hitter in the lineup.
Ball and 2 strikes. Boaz sitting lower 90s early in his outing.
That's a very good sign with Boaz. Being on the higher end of his scale in terms of range on the velocity. Now it's all going to be about location and command.
Wang, a base hits. Boston College with their first base runner. Good piece of 2-strike hitting from the talented Nick Wang.
And you'll trade that. You'll if you're in North Carolina, you'll absolutely trade that. Keeping Wang in the ballpark, and especially with him hitting with no one on base. So I guess the game plan for Boston College was hopefully Solier would get on base and allow Wang to hit with runners on.
Boaz to the stretch with one down for Ty Manolfi. Manolfi was hitting second the first couple of games of the series. Flip-flops with Wang today. Just two lefties in the lineup for Boston College. Manolfi and Colin Larson, who will bat ninth. See the numbers there for the series. Hitless for Manolfi, but he has been patient. Drew a couple of walks yesterday.
Good early signs with Boaz. Throwing strikes around the plate, good velocity on the fastball. If he can establish his command and control early, that's exactly what North Carolina needs in this rubber match ball game.
Simply because the Tar Heels bullpen is so deep, they are in pretty good shape in that regard. Yesterday, Caden Glauber, the hero for the Heels. 5 1/3 in relief after Jason DeCaro, who had been suffering from an illness earlier in the week, didn't make it out of the third inning. Glauber bridged that short start from DeCaro all the way to Walker McDuffie at the back end of the pen.
And he was just downright spectacular. He looked at about 97 pitches, 5 strikeouts, but he neutralized the Boston College offense and allowed North Carolina to play their brand of baseball.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Manolfi with Wang at first. Manolfi, bouncing ball back to Boaz, takes his time to second for one, on to first, another double play. 6 turned this series by the slick fielding Tar Heels. They'll come to the plate after this. Carolina offense will see a southpaw for Boston College. Sophomore Brady Miller might have the best strikeout stuff of the 3 lefties, though, Wayne.
That's why we'll call him a power southpaw. He's a high leverage arm, but here's the thing that really is impressive about Miller. It's efficiency. We've been talking pitch efficiency this entire series. He's going to mix the slider with the fastball, so those will be his 2 primary weapons out of a 4-pitch repertoire. So expect a fastball slider, but on top of that, curveball, changeup, but really focus on the fastball and slider.
16 strikeouts over 13 innings in his last 2 starts in conference play against Cal and Virginia. He will face this order for North Carolina in the series finale. Tyler Howe had a couple of doubles yesterday, batting out of the 7th spot. Perry Hargett makes just his 3rd start of the season for the Tar Heels in the 9-hole today.
Well, what really impressed me about Tyler Howe yesterday was his ability to go to the opposite field, putting balls down the third base line. That was really impressive in terms of how he was able to go with pitches. But most importantly, being able to come up with 2 doubles and demonstrate an ability to take over one of the outfield spots that's still up for grabs.
Miller against Jake Schaffner in the home half of the first. 2 lefties sandwiched around a righty and Gavin Gallagher. All by design for the Tar Heels. Good look with the stirrup socks for Miller, and Pitch calm delays involving Gunnar Johnson, the Boston College catcher. Technology always works until it doesn't, always seems.
As we talked about yesterday, what would we do without pitch calm these days?
All the wires are in working order. Schaffner digs in. First pitch strike for Miller, to a batter with 5 hits over the course of this series. Triple and a double yesterday. The triple drove in 2 runs.
Schaffner plays a very exciting brand of baseball as an offensive catalyst at the top of the Carolina lineup.
Well, he's so tough to strike out. Puts that ball in play. And when you put the ball in play, good things can happen.
He just has a solid approach, and you know he's going to start wreaking havoc.
The game on Thursday night, he was 3 for 5 in the series opener. The 2 balls that left his bat that didn't result in base hits were both tumbling catches in left field by Colin Larson. He could have easily had a 5-hit game. This one a sky-high pop-up. Against the partly cloudy sky, it's the shortstop Solier who takes it down. So Schaffner pops out to his counterpart, and the bases will be clear for Gavin Gallagher.
This is the 3rd ball game of the series, but a 3rd different start time as well. So we have a noon start time, so we're not dealing with the shadows that we have, you know, with a 5 o'clock and a 6 o'clock start over the first 2 ball games of the series. So it's going to be a different type of sky for the defense all day today.
Gallagher homered in the first inning yesterday. Takes strike 1 from Miller. Yeah, if we're dealing with shadows in this game, Boston College is not going to make their flight on time, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a press time for them to be on a 6 o'clock flight tonight.
0-1 on Gallagher. Not only has Miller struck out 16 in his last 2 starts, he's only walked 2, 1 per start against Cal and Virginia. Talented sophomore, making up the back end of this Boston College rotation. Gallagher, ground ball, past a diving third baseman Gallo, and into left for Carolina's first hit of the day.
Really strong sign with Gallagher. He had the home run yesterday, but you want to see him get into a great rhythm and be able to drive the ball, not just out of the ballpark. So great job of him going with that pitch to the left side of the infield.
First base runner for the Heels. And Eric Paulson stands in. Lefty swinging first baseman, owner of 6 home runs on the season, but just 1 since the calendar turned to March. First pitch ball in the lefty-lefty matchup.
I think everyone's still waiting to see Eric Paulson explode in league play. I think once that happens, there's going to be a lot of people around Chapel Hill breathing a little bit easier when it comes to the offense for North Carolina.
Gallagher at first base for the Heels. 3 for 3 in stolen base tries this year. Carolina doesn't run a ton. 31 stolen bases and 39 tries. Paulson, a roller foul. Scott Jackson, the first base coach, tried to barehand it.
Got on him a little bit quicker than he anticipated.
There's Coach Jackson, longtime Tar Heel assistant, former head coach at Liberty. Bending strike. A lot of movement on that pitch. It starts up and in to the left-handed batter and sweeps into the zone.
Yeah, when he's got a really good curveball that does a 1-to-7 break, and it's going to really hover in that 75 to 79 mile per hour range. So another great pitch by Miller.
Third base side of the rubber. Paulson fouls it back. You mentioned Paulson waiting to break out. Saw the homer from Gallagher yesterday. There are certainly power threats in the Carolina lineup, but there is no guy like a Nick Wang for Boston College who, if you're an opposing team, you're circling and saying this is your power threat. There's no Vance Honeycutt in this lineup. Paulson strikes out swinging. First K of the day for Miller.
But there's probably 5 ball players in that lineup that you're circling thinking there could be something there.
Right.
And Paulson's definitely one of them. I think coming into this season, the thought process was who's going to complement Gavin Gallagher when it comes to the home run prowess in the lineup. And Paulson was one of those guys that you look to, and I still think it's there. I'm a big believer that he's going to have a 2-week stretch where he's going to carry North Carolina, and the power is going to come.
Macon Winslow tries to hold up on the first pitch and is able to do so, says our first base umpire Jairo Martinez. Winslow DHing today after catching the first 2 games of the series. Sky is a fly ball to right. Jack Toomey angling back and makes the catch. One out single by Gavin Gallagher does nothing for the Tar Heels. We're scoreless after an inning. Rubber game on a Saturday in Chapel Hill. First series of ACC play, lost the first 2 games handily to Virginia. Were able to rally back and win that series finale in 12 innings, and that's kick-started a very successful run for Carolina. Just a couple of losses in that span in the last 12, both against talented lefties, Wyatt Danielewicz of Louisville, A.J. Colarusso of Boston College. But now the Tar Heels have found themselves from the depths of that 0-2 ACC start. They've climbed right back into the conference race.
And they've just been really competitive ball games. And it seems as if they've settled into conference play. Last year, at the same time, they dropped the opener series to Stanford, and there was that concern. But if you talk to Coach Forbes, the whole thought process is, let's get that series out of the way first, rather than in late April into May. So North Carolina is really clicking on all cylinders when it comes to conference play.
For their 11th win in conference today. Secure a series win against Boston College, an Eagles team that has also won 3 of their first 4 ACC series. 2 balls and a strike from Boaz to Jack Toomey. 3-1.
So far, I really like where Boaz is placing his pitches. I think there's good command. I think he's around the plate. You know, that was a tough pitch to take. But he's off to a good start.
No! A leadoff walk in the second. Boston College with the leadoff man aboard. The Eagles, who pride themselves on station-to-station baseball, that has been limited this weekend by North Carolina's slick fielding middle infield. 6 double plays turned by the Tar Heels now in 3 games.
And they have a nice rhythm. It flows perfectly. You know, we're getting used to seeing that 6-4-3 double play between Schaffner, Gallagher, and Paulson. And you're looking at 3 high above average to superior defensive fielders. And it's worked very well this entire series.
Speaking of guys who get on base, Carter Hendrickson has been hit by a pitch 3 times in the series. Squares to bunt, takes ball 2.
Oh, no, again!
Xavier grad transfer. He was a teammate at Xavier with now Boston College assistant coach Jack Hausinger for a couple of years. Tyler Donato said there was no guessing on his personality when he hit the portal. Bunt foul.
We're seeing this approach from Boston College very early. Many people will probably question why in the top of the second inning are you dropping down bunts, but this is their brand of baseball. And we talked about it last night. They're a trickle type of offense where North Carolina can be a gush. So that's where they kind of differ in terms of their approach.
Toomey dives into the bag at first. 9 for 10 on the base paths this year, but again, Boston College without a steal in this series. North Carolina has conceded 10, just 10 stolen bases all year. This is game 33. Bunt stays on, goes into the glove of Heineck. Snap throw back to first. Toomey's safe. That foot just barely stays on the bag. He went sprawling back to first base and was able to keep his foot on.
And we see Paulson positioning, great tag, but barely can hang on to stay on that base. Very close play. Good job by Paulson.
Perhaps more importantly, the count is 2-2. Would be surprised if Hendrickson still squared to bunt here. Swinging away, he takes ball 3.
Fastball velocity is good. He's around the plate. I think what we're going to have to see with Boaz right now is he's going to have to adjust to the home plate umpire strike zone just a little bit. We're getting some early indications that it might be a tighter strike zone.
Jeremy Riggs calls the balls and strikes today on this ACC crew. Payoff pitch to Hendrickson with the runner aboard. Stays alive.
It's also worth noting, Matt, that Colin Heineck's catching today. He's been the designated hitter for the past 2 ball games, but North Carolina has done extremely well with that rotation between Macon Winslow and Colin Heineck catching and designated hitting, and both of them have fantastic arms and quick releases. So that's also neutralized Boston College's running approach.
Ball 4, 2 on, nobody outs. Now, in all likelihood, knowing Boston College, you would imagine that Luke Gallo will be trying to bunt to get 2 into scoring position.
This is almost standard operating procedure in terms of how they worked all season. So I think we'll all be surprised if that's not the case here.
Gallo's been swinging a hot stick of late, riding a 9-game hit streak. But with nobody out and 2 on, it's in BC's DNA to square here. Let's see. He does. He pops it up, and it drifts back to the backstop net. Fortuitous for Gallo that ball had some backwards carry on it.
So if you're North Carolina in the pitching staff, knowing what Boston College has been doing in these situations, it bodes pretty well for you, because now you know that you can really use your fastball in the inner part of the plate to really jam up the Boston College hitters trying to bunt.
Bunt rolls up the third base line and takes a left turn foul. Strike 2. We'd said during the Hendrickson plate appearance, once it got to 2 strikes, would be surprised if he keeps the bunt on. Now, what do you think, Wayne?
It wouldn't surprise me if the bunt stays on here. Just knowing how Coach Donato plays his brand of baseball, particularly also with runs in scoring position, and also playing constantly station-to-station ball.
On 0-2, Gallo taking and strikes out looking. Boaz's second strikeout is a backwards K, and a big first out in the top of the 2nd.
That's exactly what Boaz needed. Perfect placement, but most importantly, look at how Heineck presented that pitch to the home plate umpire, Jerry Riggs in that case. Great job all around.
So from back-to-back walks to a looking strikeout, Now that double play would end an inning. First pitch strike on Gunnar Johnson. Was hitting .215 at the start of the series. Has 4 hits over the course of the weekend. The Wofford transfer followed Todd Interdonato from the upstate of South Carolina to the cooler climates of Newton, Massachusetts.
Yeah, Boaz is starting to find that comfort zone with that fastball hovering around 93, doing a really good job of the placement on it. Seems as if he's getting into a good rhythm.
You can see him more comfortably delivering.
And that was the big difference over the past 2 ball games for North Carolina. We saw some struggles with Ryan Lynch and Jason DeCaro. And Boaz is coming out a little bit stronger than both of them in their appearances.
Throw back to second. Toomey gets his uniform dirty. You mentioned the first 2 starting pitchers for the Tar Heels. Ryan Lynch on Thursday night lasted 5 1/3. Up and down command throughout the outing. Jason DeCaro battling that illness. Didn't make it out of the 3rd yesterday. Johnson strikes out swinging. 2 outs in the frame.
Yeah, Boaz is really comfortable, and that's a great sign for North Carolina that he's in that zone very early into this ball game, and he is not allowing the 2 runners on base to distract him in any way.
First appearance of the series for Kyle Wolf, senior DH. Just 8 for 48 this year, but half of his hits have been for extra bases. Homered twice last week against Virginia. Now an inning that started so promising for Boston College rests on the shoulders of Wolf.
Now, if you're Boston College, this is a situation where you'd like to see that ringing double into the gap to bring 2 runs in. But that's not really their brand of baseball as much as just going station to station.
Jack Toomey at second after a leadoff walk. Carter Hendrickson walked behind him. He's at first. 1-0 on Wolf, who started 56 games last year and 53 the year prior. Veteran player in his 4th year at BC. Laces it down the left field line, and Wolf howls it up against the left field fence. Toomey will score. Hendrickson stops at 3rd, and Boston College strikes first on the 3rd double of the year from Kyle Wolf.
Well, they went off script and decided to use a different portion of the field. In this case here, Wolf pulls it down the left field line, exactly where you would want to place it to at least bring him 1 run and make a big advancement over to 3rd for the next.
Todd Interdonato knew what he was doing, putting Wolf in the lineup today.
Sometimes you just get a feeling for a guy, particularly in batting practice.
Colin Larson, the 9-hitter. Last batter to face Boaz for a first time. And it's 1-0 quickly.
So now this is a situation where Boaz can't start overthrowing. Now the fastball's been good. Still trust it. And keep it in that vein. Don't try to do too much here, because now you run the risk of any bad pitch can turn into 2 runs.
You had to like where you ran if you were Boaz. You walked 2, but then battled back with 2 straight strikeouts, facing a 167 hitter who had not appeared in a game this weekend, having a tough senior year. Wolf pulls it down the left field line. Now 2-1 on Larson.
And basically, he flipped the script in terms of what Boston College is all about. You know, that's a play that North Carolina would do offensively. That's a page out of North Carolina's book. So this was completely unique to what Boston College has been doing all series and all season.
Larson to the right side. Gallagher picks it up, on to Paulson. 2 left in scoring position for BC, but the Eagles do strike first. The veteran Kyle Wolf with an RBI double in the 2nd. Boston College. The last start for the sophomore southpaw against Virginia last Sunday. No runs, 2 hits over 7 innings, 9 strikeouts in less than 100 pitches.
Pitch efficiency at its best. You know, we talked earlier in the series about North Carolina trying to get a pitcher like Jason DeCaro to 7th inning, and we worried about the strikeouts in that case, but look at what Miller did last weekend. Absolutely impressive.
Last 2 starts, Virginia and Cal, both at home. No earned runs over 13 innings. 3 straight left-handed starting pitchers for Boston College. A.J. Colarusso was fantastic Thursday night, picking up the win. Boston College's 6-1 victory. Tyler Mudd lasted 4 innings yesterday. Carolina was able to add to their lead against the bullpen as Owen Hull cracks one to right. Toomey took a circuitous route to it, but bends down to make the catch. It was one where Toomey looked at first like he was going to try and make the play. Then for a half second, he thought he was going to play it on the bounce, try and hold Hull to a single, then realized he could get there.
Yeah, he got caught in between there. Ball was nicely placed by Hull, but you know, to your point, you know, Toomey didn't know what he should do, and at the last minute, he was able to bring it in.
Ball one of the Carolina catcher, Colin Hynek. But to continue the point on the lefties, while they are all left-handed pitchers, and you hear about crafty lefties and pitchability with lefties, these are 3 different left-handers for Boston College. Miller perhaps the most different of the trio.
On top of maybe the velocity difference, you're looking at arm angles, you're looking at pitch repertoire, and you're looking at all of how they're using all of that. But the one thing we can say with great certainty is that Boston College has 3 trustworthy starting pitchers, regardless if they're right-handed or left-handed. But I think it makes it even more compelling because they're not the prototypical flame-throwing pitchers. They're relying heavily on a lot of movement.
Toomey goes for a slide, winds up against the fence. The ball winds up foul. On the strength of that starting pitching, Boston College at 9 ACC wins. That's already 1 more than they won 2 years ago in Todd Interdonato's first year as the head coach. 2 shy of their 11 that they won in the regular season last year. BC back in the top 25. First time since 2023, which was their most recent appearance in a regional. Hynek reaches out, skies another one foul.
The big question that we can say after this series with Boston College, you're very impressed with their pitching. You're very impressed in terms of how they play station-to-station baseball and they can run, but they haven't run as well as we thought they would do in this series. But does that brand of baseball, station-to-station and small ball, does that translate well when it comes to mid-May through middle of June, when it comes to the ACC Baseball Championship and the NCAA tournament, where things are a little more intense and the strategy is different?
Hynek pops up 71, sky high. Wang with the sunglasses on squeezes. That's a tough play because the sun is playing peekaboo today. It's like an Easter egg hunt, trying to find that ball against this midday sky with clouds popping in and out.
And now you take a look out in the center field. The wind's blowing out, as evident by the trio of flags. And Matt, to your point, it's a very challenging sky. It's not piercing, but it's one of those where ball can easily get lost in the clouds.
Tyler Howe had a good day yesterday for the Tar Heels. A couple of opposite field hits for the freshman left fielder. Charlotte area native, starting as a freshman at his dream school. Goes the opposite way, but in the air. Gallo waits for it to come down. Felt like he was waiting half a day, and he makes the catch. Tar Heels go in order in the second. Boston College still in front in the rubber game. clubs from March into April. 11-2 in their last 13. Earned a series opening win against North Carolina, going for the series win here today, which will be their 4th in the first 5 series in conference play. Wayne.
They've been, in my opinion, the big story in college baseball. Now everyone's going to be talking about UCLA and Texas and the ball clubs in the top 5, but I'd love to see what Boston College has been doing this year.
Among surprise clubs in power conferences, Solier, roller to the left, tough play Nicholson, good pick Paulson. And Julio Solier, even as he has struggled throughout this series, Boston College is still playing in a rubber game today.
And that was the big surprise for all of us, because we came into this series thinking Solier was going to be this offensive catalyst, just like Schaffner has been for North Carolina. And he's been relatively quiet. And I think what Coach Incidental was trying to do is maybe ignite that spark with Wang hitting behind him, and so far it hasn't worked.
Nick Wang singled, was raced on a double play his first time up. Second trip to the plate for the veteran first baseman for the Eagles. There's always this comparison game that goes on in college baseball between the ACC and the SEC, it feels like. And off and on, the point is made that the SEC's bottom is higher than the ACC's bottom. But this year, it feels in particular that some of those northern ACC teams are carrying their weight, and it's cyclical. You know, you have years where Boston College has been really successful in the history of their program under Mike Gambino, 2016, 2023, etc. But as Wang bounces it back to Nicholson at third, and 2 quick outs for Fulcher Boaz at the top of the order in this 3rd inning. The play of BC, the play of Pitt this season in particular. Notre Dame was playing well. They've all of a sudden dropped 5 straight in conference play, but still a talented ball club. The bottom is higher in the ACC this year.
And I think that's a byproduct of the portal. I think it's a byproduct of coaching. I also think it's now what we're seeing is a lot of coaches are demonstrating what their philosophies are in this new day and age of college athletics.
Manolfi the opposite way. Could be a very quick inning for Boaz, and it is. 3 straight ground balls. 5-3, 5-3, 6-3. Still the Eagles by a run. RPI. 7 ball clubs from the conference fall into this category. When we were talking about it last half inning, the northern duo there, Boston College and Pitt, 26 and 27. They, at this point in the season, there's a long way to go, right around the midpoint, just a little bit past it in the regular year, but they are tracking towards contention for regional qualification.
And that's just great for the entire conference in terms of hopefully looking for at-large bids when it comes to the NCAA tournament. And also, most importantly, how fun is the ACC Baseball Championship Tournament going to be this May?
Truist Field in Charlotte, the site for the event this year. Boston College last year, for the first time in the history of their program, won 2 games at the ACC Championship. Advanced on to the quarterfinal round. 2nd year this year of the new single elimination format, which I love, by the way. BC battled Carolina in the quarterfinals last year. Tar Heels eventually won the game 7-2.
And that's when people started to pay attention to BC after what they did against Notre Dame and Virginia. And really, it was A.J. Colarusso. And we talked about it in the first game of the series. But that's when people started to pay attention that something special was starting to happen with Boston College, and most notably being a Northeast program in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Tom Donato said that he noticed some of that attention that was spreading around when he and his staff were making the rounds in the recruiting trail last summer. Got discussed a lot. People paid attention to that week in Durham by BC. Nicholson swinging away on 3-1. Tough play for Manolfi. A stretch by Wang, and he got him. Simon Alfie at second base had to range to his right, fire across his body, and a good stretch by Wang to get Nicholson at first.
There's been a lot of talk this series about Julio Solier at shortstop and in terms of his range and everything, but you got to give some love to Ty Manolfi because we've seen that from him as well. Very good keystone combination up the middle for Boston College. Look at the range there and look at the arm strength. And that was just a perfectly played ball.
Perry Hargett, third start of the season for the Tar Heel sophomore right fielder. The platoon continues at the corner outfield spots for Carolina. Hargett just 2 out of 8 on the season. When we saw Jaden Nunez come off the bench yesterday, Rom Kellis has made a couple of starts in this series. Carter French has had his offensive struggles of late, so French not a factor the last couple of days, but there's a lot of different guys still in the mix to seize one of these spots. It feels like Howe has got one of them. If you're a Carolina fan, you feel good about what he's capable of doing, whether it be in right field or left field. But Scott Forbes perhaps tinkering a little bit and will continue to tinker.
And that's been a little bit of the North Carolina formula for the past 2 seasons. You know, we always use the blueprint formula from 2024, where it's Casey Cook, Vance Honeycutt, and Anthony D'Onofrio in the outfield. And North Carolina really needs one of these ball players to step up and wrestle, let's say left field. And just hypothetically saying that we have Tyler Howe in right field. And we haven't seen it yet.
Hargett coaxes a walk, just the second base runner of the game for the Heels. First since Gavin Gallagher's 1-out single in the first.
As we're at the midway point of the season, I think that is one big thing that Coach Forbes would love to improve upon is who wants to be the third everyday outfielder for North Carolina and produce at a high level. And the jury's still out.
Now, I will say that going into the year, Coach Forbes said that you might see a little bit more platooning at the corner outfield spots this year. Reminded him a little bit of the 2018 Carolina team that went to the College World Series, where you could match up a little bit more. Back to the top of the order, second trip through for BC left-hander Brady Miller. Jake Schaffner 0 for 1 with a pop out to his counterpart Solier.
I believe if they can get that settled sooner rather than later, it just bodes well for the offense. And it just solidifies a lot of things. You know, I think Coach Forbes has done a masterful job trying to put players in positions where he thinks they can excel. But it can't be game by game. It has to be what he has in other positions. Essentially, you want to find your Jake Schaffners or your Gavin Gallaghers or your Cooper Nicholsons in the left field position, just thinking that you're going to have to play with regularity you know, a Tyler Howe playing right more than left.
Ball and a strike on Schaffner. The bunt is always a possibility with Jake Schaffner, trying to bunt for a hit, especially with the speed both at the plate and on the base paths. You saw in that last shot, the third baseman Gallo pinching in.
And this is where if Perry Hargett can wrestle one of these positions away, it really puts North Carolina in a great position because you have your bottom third of the order and you got a guy like him who can run the bases very well. And then you flip it over with Schaffner. That's really lethal.
Schaffner opposite way into left for a knock. rolling for a while. Hargett with the speed is going to try for three. The throw goes to second. Men at the corners, one out. Tar Heels cooking in the third.
Well, Hargett wasn't even fooled by the deke play by Solier at shortstop, but just another great piece of hitting by Schaffner. And I love the first, the third running in the ability, as we just talked about, you know, with a guy like Hargett. But, you know, great job by Schaffner picking up that ball.
Fundamental baseball from BC to throw that ball into second, holds Schaffner to the single. Gavin Gallagher, first pitch swinging, falling into left, and it's down to tie the game. Second straight hit for Gallagher. Ball game's level at 1.
Well, we talked about this last night. Gavin Gallagher only needs one at-bat to get going, and we saw that with the home run. And starting off the day with 2 key hits, this is the guy that you really want humming at this point in the season, and Gallagher's doing it today.
So with 1 out in the frame, Tyler Donato, the head coach of the Eagles, goes to the mound. No activity in the BC bullpen. This is just a calming conversation. But second trip through the order, Carolina already has 2 hits after just one hit the first trip through the order, Wayne.
Well, what I noticed yesterday with North Carolina, with each of the batters, is when they were going back into the dugout and passing the on-deck circle, they were exchanging information, and they were making the adjustments. And I think that's what we're seeing here, is that yet again they're facing another tough left-handed pitcher, and usually the first time around you're trying to get a feel for everything, but they're doing a really good job of taking information, making the adjustments. Case in point of what we're seeing this half of the inning.
Brady Miller is not allowed an earned run his last 2 starts. That changes here today with the 1-out walk to Hargett, followed by back-to-back hits from Schaffner and Gallagher. Eric Paulson 0 for 1 with a swinging strikeout. First pitch swinging, loops it foul. Now here is the situation that has confounded North Carolina a little bit their last couple of games. You get men on. What can you do to try and create a crooked number? When the Tar Heels have had success this year, they've been able to have that 1 frame a game where you put 4, if not all the way up to 8 runs on the board. Even yesterday against BC, there were chances to blow that game wide open. It stayed close to the end. Paulson, high pop, left fields. Larson to his left. Now back to the right and makes the catch. Runners hold.
And Matt, you bring up a really good point, because North Carolina was knocking on that door hard yesterday of busting the ball game open, but they just couldn't do it. And we have a situation here where it's central casting for that opportunity, and you don't want to give Boston College an opportunity to stay in a ball game. That's what happened yesterday. Even though they didn't have a hit for several innings, they were in that ball game, and North Carolina has that opportunity to put a crooked number up.
And when BC got their first hit in the 7th inning yesterday, it was an RBI single that cut the deficit to only 2.
And it goes back to these 2 different philosophies. One is the gush, one is the trickle when it comes to the offensive approach. North Carolina needs to have their gush today.
2-0 on Macon Winslow. Brady Miller dealing with some trouble for the first time today, really the first time in a couple of weeks. Winslow laces it to left. Larson speeding back. It's over his head, up against the fence. Schaffner scores. Gallagher waved in behind him. Throw way up the line. 3-1 Tar Heels. A clutch double from Macon Winslow to drive into.
Well, if we were looking for a gush, we got a busted water main break right now. We're making Winslow on that shot. That's exactly what North Carolina needed. Put up a crooked number, bring in 2 runs, but most importantly, get another runner in scoring position for the potent offensive attack of the Tar Heels.
Fifth double of the season for Winslow. Drives in a pair, and the Tar Heels are in front by 2. And the team leader in batting average in Owen Hall stands in.
And you want to see North Carolina play off that momentum. It feels as if they've been always responding to Boston College in this series offensively. Now they're putting Boston College back on their heels and putting pressure on them.
I would agree with you, with the exception of the first 2 innings yesterday.
Yeah.
With the homer and then the triple from Schaffner. But then the rest of the game, and in the point about not being able to break the game open.
Yeah, you had about a 5-inning stretch in that ball game where you're like, you need to break it open, and they didn't. Gallagher got out on the board early, which was important, but then it kind of shut down again.
Two balls and a strike on Hull. His line out to right field was well struck. His first time up last inning. Hull, bouncer back up the middle, off the mound, eats up Solier. Hustling, Winslow's gonna try and score. Throw to the plate, and he is out. Good recovery by Solier after bobbling that ball at short. Unleashed a rocket of a throw home. Carolina with the aggressive send, and Winslow is tagged out to end the inning.
Yeah, this is a real tough play. It's an aggressive play by North Carolina. Uncharacteristic error by Solier. Great throw to home, though.
Ballpark with the series on the line. A ranked-on-ranked showdown in Chapel Hill. Boston College scored first. North Carolina with a 3-run bottom of the 3rd. Now the Tar Heels operating from a position of strength into the middle innings. Folger Boaz back to work to start the 4th. Already deeper in the ball game than he went last time out against Notre Dame.
And this is a good thing for Boaz. You have a lead. There's some momentum here. Hopefully it allows him to settle in and just start to focus on what he was doing well early on, was throwing strikes.
Jack Toomey leads off for Boston College. Skies one out to center. Owen Hull, hands up, has it. Hull, who was credited with a single, by the way, on that ball that ate up Solier, ended up with Macon Winslow being thrown out at home to end the last of the 3rd. So officially a 4-hit, 3-run half inning for the Tar Heels. Boaz has retired 5 in a row. Carter Hendrickson walked his first time. First pitch swinging, and from 5 in a row, it's 6 in a row. Hull barely has to move.
And you gotta love this if you're North Carolina. Quick pitches, soft contact in the air to get Boaz back in the dugout, to get that offense back going up there.
Boaz hit a speed bump in the 2nd with the back-to-back walks, 2-out double by Kyle Wolf. but has settled in as this game progresses toward the middle innings. Luke Gallo, first pitch strike. Struck out looking his first time.
We're seeing that fastball settle in. We're seeing good command of it. Boaz is in a good rhythm, but I bet you Coach Donato has picked up on that. So that's why we're seeing this little break in the action with him talking to Gallo.
Now, offensive timeout taken by the third-year head coach of the Eagles. Former head coach at Wofford, 3 straight Southern Conference regular season titles for the Terriers prior to taking the job in Chestnut Hill.
Carolina faithful are a little upset over this because they know where Boaz is. They know he's clicking. But this is just a very good strategic move by Donato to slow down Boaz. Let's see how he can respond to it.
Next pitch for Boaz will be his 50th. A 1-2-3 third, looking for a 1-2-3 fourth as well. Outside.
And what we've also seen with a couple of the pitchers this weekend, both for Coach Forbes and for Coach Donato, they're not afraid to go to the century mark.
Caden Glauber nearly reached it out of the bullpen yesterday. A.J. Colarusso in his start for Boston College Thursday night. As well to 100 pitches. Boaz a strike away. 2-2.
And that's been a big conversation across college baseball this season, is how pitchers are being used and the comfort level of allowing a pitcher to get to 100 pitches. And we're seeing that this weekend.
Nine-game hit streak for Luke Gallo. That hit streak was put on life support into the 9th inning last night. Bounced the ball back up the middle to keep it going. Gallo, slow chopper to the left. Nicholson on the run. Back-to-back 1-2-3 frames for Folger Boaz. The Carolina junior finding his groove. 3-1 Tar Heels in the middle of the 4th. Under the sun at Botchimer Stadium. 6th ranked North Carolina up 3-1 on Boston College, an Eagles team that has not won 3 straight ACC series since 2023. They can change that with a comeback win here today. It would also mean North Carolina would lose 2 ACC home series in the same season for the first time since that same year in 2023. 2 23s going at it. Brady Miller against Colin Heineck, and a foul ball strike starts the last of the 4th.
If you're North Carolina, you like the way the first third of this ball game has played out. You're starting to play to your strengths rather than responding to the way Boston College has played, and that's what caused some trouble on the Thursday night ball game, is that they were reactive rather than being proactive.
Curious to see how Brady Miller settles in here for the fourth. Ran into some trouble in the third with a walk and 4 hits against him.
And it's also fascinating to see how much rest Boaz can get, because he has been lightning quick over the last 2 innings. And he's been inducing a lot of weak contact.
It shows his confidence level out there. Boaz is comfortable.
I think it also shows, too, what we didn't see from Ryan Lynch and Jason DeCaro is that Boaz has settled into a nice rhythm early, and he's been able to maintain it.
Heineck down the right field line. Toomey drifting, and it's past his outstretched glove up against the fence. Colin Heineck pulls into second. Leadoff man straight to scoring position for the Tar Heels in the fourth.
Yet again, another great opportunity to start the inning. I know it's a tough play for Toomey out there, but then you got Heineck really hustling to get into second base. Great job of going with the pitch, trying to drive it the other way, but then he picks up and realizes he's got a shot that's not a routine fly ball, and easily coasted to second base.
Second double in as many days for Heineck. And the Tar Heels now in this second trip through the order against Miller. 5 hits out of the first 6 batters to see him for a second time. Tyler Howe hits first.
So it looked as if almost was thrown behind him and then wounds up nicking the back area. Now, Matt, I think you're getting an answer to your question pretty clearly, is how is the pressure getting to Miller and how he's responding, and so far, not so good.
Check out this meeting on the mound. Nick Wang, right side of your screen, is leading the meeting and looking toward the BC dugout, but this is all player-led out there. Kyle Kipp in the bullpen for Boston College, one of their key relief pieces who has not pitched in this series so far.
You know, this might be a meeting, obviously, to get the bullpen up and working, but also to settle everything down, because North Carolina has a great opportunity to put this game a little out of reach very early. So seeing this state of affairs for Boston College is very problematic for them. 2
on, nobody out, and Cooper Nicholson at the plate. Nicholson a stretch of 3 homers in 4 games last weekend into the midweek against Campbell. Don't need to leave the yard here. Just keep the line moving if you're the Tar Heels.
And I think that is the area of concern for Boston College right now, is the more that they can do that, they realize that their brand of baseball, they can't put up the crooked numbers that North Carolina can in those short bursts.
Generous strike call, at least in the eyes of the partisan faithful here in Chapel Hill, and Scott Forbes perhaps.
Miller's having a little bit of a tough time here. You know, the fastball, he's lost the command of the fastball, still in that range, but he doesn't have the same command of it. And it just looks as if it's rising just at the top of the strike zone.
Ball 3 on Nicholson, count full. 6 of the last 7 Tar Heels have reached. Going back to the Hargett walk, actually at the bottom of the order, it's 7 of 8.
And here we go again with those conversations about the bottom third of the Tar Heels offense and what they're able to do.
Swing and a miss. Nicholson may have gotten a piece of it, but the catcher Johnson hangs on. And a strikeout for the first out of the 4th.
He came back up in the zone, and that's where the fastball plays very well for Miller, but this time he found it in the quadrant that Nicholson couldn't get to.
So here is Hargett. His one-out walk last inning started this run of success for the Tar Heels. Swings at the first pitch and rolls it foul.
And all weekend we've talked about the opportunities that have been presented to Rom Kellis, Jaden Nunez, and now we're seeing that with Perry Hargett, who last year had those bursts of energy and productivity. Now he's put in a position where he can really carve his name into that position in the outfield.
And he has seen time throughout the year off the bench for the Heels, most notably as a pinch runner. Came into today, 2 starts on the year, 5 runs scored. Obviously not all in the starts. It's the nature of being a speedster off the bench.
He's going to give you good defense. He's a smart base runner. You just want that bat to complement the other strengths in his game. And having that balance at the bottom third of the order with a guy like Nicholson, and you throw in some speed and some contact, not only you're lengthening the lineup, but you're enhancing it as well.
Yeah.
Miller in a 2-2 count. Leadoff double by Heineck, then he hit Tyler Howe. Came back to strike out Nicholson. Hargett loops it foul to the right.
Come on, Brett.
And this is exactly the key difference between Boston College and North Carolina, because if this is Boston College, they're trying to drop down a bunt. In this situation where Coach Forbes has tremendous faith in his 9th hitter in the order to possibly drive the ball and drive in at least 1.
Hargett does drive the ball, but on the ground to Solier. To second for 1. On to first. Double play. Inning over. Despite putting the first 2 batters on, Brady Miller limits the damage, and North Carolina does not score.
This is why I love this sport so much.
Right where we should be this time of year. The celebration is on.
How many ACC teams will make it to Omaha this year? Just 2 seasons ago, it was half the College World Series field. Last year, Louisville represented the ACC. Cardinals today, though, trying to salvage Game 3 of a series at Duke. Blue Devils took the first 2 there. Florida State out in front of Virginia. Virginia took Game 1 of the series Thursday night in Charlottesville, but the Seminoles, adjusting to life post Miles Bailey, seem poised for a series win in the marquee series in the conference.
And that's been the most devastating blow for any team so far in the conference for Florida State. But you have great faith that they're going to be able to recoup in some way and rethink how they're going to approach their offense and particularly their defense.
Neither the Tar Heels nor the Eagles will see FSU in regular season play this year in the ACC. Tar Heels will see Clemson on the road next week. Boston College's next assignment in conference play. They'll host Virginia Tech next week. That includes the annual ALS awareness game to be played at Fenway Park. The middle game of that 3-game series next week, next Saturday on ACC Network.
Which is always a highlight of the season.
I believe that'll be Carl Ravitch and Mike Rooney on the call for that. Folger Boaz has set down 7 straight Eagles, facing Gunnar Johnson for the 2nd time.
And Gunnar Johnson's been the story of the series. We opened it up with great framer, great receiver, great catcher, but the offense was lagging on the defense, and the only thing we've seen is great offense from him.
2 straight days with an RBI single. Johnson has postseason experience in this ballpark. There was 1 year where he stayed at Wofford, even after Tando Donato had headed to Boston College. 2024, he played in the regional here.
That was a very fun regional. You had Wofford, you had LSU, you had North Carolina, you had Long Island University. And it was a lot of excitement in this ballpark for a few days.
The electricity for those Carolina LSU games, unmatched. Leadoff walk for the 2nd time. And BC has their first base runner since the 2nd inning.
Yeah, a little bit of a different rhythm for Boaz this inning, given what he had put together in the 3rd and 4th. But he still has an opportunity to hit the reset button and get back to that, hard throwing strikes in the upper quadrants.
We'll see if Boston College can capitalize here. When you and I were talking off air between half innings, it felt as if North Carolina, with the success that they had the 2nd time through the order against Miller, unable to go for the jugular, though.
Yeah, and I think that's been the real big question for North Carolina. So why hasn't it happened? It's not a talent issue by any stretch of the imagination, and they're doing a fantastic job of communicating in between at bats and on the field. North Carolina needs that, because you're letting Boston College hang around in the bowl game. And we haven't seen that big inning from North Carolina, and I think you're going to look at an entirely different bowl game from North Carolina's perspective if they can do it.
It's what led to the sweep against Notre Dame on the road last week. Kyle Wolf almost hit by that one. It was Wolf who laced a double down the left field line, just his 9th hit of the season in limited action. Got Boston College on the board, gave the Eagles the early 1-0 lead. Tar Heels responded with a 3-run 3rd. No. 3-1, and the former varsity alpine ski racer. 3 varsity letters in high school in alpine ski racing at the Middlesex School.
You can only get that from a New England school.
3-2. What's more challenging, hitting a fastball or navigating the giant slalom?
Depending upon who's throwing the fastball. In this day and age, we're in the golden age of pitching, so both are very challenging in their own regard.
Tar Heels keeping Johnson honest at first. Three balls, 2 strikes, already a man aboard with nobody out in the 5th. Wolf down the right field line, foul. Couple of homers last week against Virginia. Wolf had made just 2 starts since March the 2nd, prior to being inserted into the lineup against the Who's last week. Boaz approaching 70 pitches. Next pitch will be the 7th of this at bat. And it's a foul tip to strike out Wolf.
Exactly what he needed. He changed up the velocity pitch, going a little bit with the cutter, and it just had Wolf all fooled up. Great job there. Great job by Heineck also with the framing.
Fourth strikeout of the afternoon for Boaz, who faces Colin Larson for a second time. Larson 0 for 1, the 9 batter for BC. Next hitter Solier begins the third trip through the Eagles order for Boaz.
If you're North Carolina, what you would like to see here is if they can get Larson to hit the ball on the ground and turn a double play to end the inning rather than having Solier started off.
Slow roller. Gallagher will go to second for 1. No chance to turn the double play, though, due to the speed of that ball on the ground. Heads up play by Gallagher to get the lead runner. So just a man at first with 2 down for Solier.
You get the feeling like we've talked a lot about Solier this series, but we haven't seen him really excel. And you know, this is a critical time in the game. That this is not where you want to see him start to break out.
His only hit all weekend was a double in the 3rd inning in Game 1 on Thursday. Did come around to score on a sac fly. That was his 48th hit of the season to lead the ACC at the time. Hitless since. Clearly sees something, trying to bunt with 2 outs.
You know, I keep on going back to this thought process. He's your best hitter from an average standpoint, but also from a contact perspective as well, as we've seen. Why are we bunting? You're down 2 runs. You have a runner on base. I would trust Solier here.
It's a 1-1 count. He will swing away, come up empty for strike 2.
Great job on that fastball. Great placement on it. That's been the big difference so far that we've seen from the starting pitching from North Carolina is Boaz has control and command, and he's working the strike zone nicely today.
Trying to put another 0 on the board. Check swing Solier, and he held up. Boaz almost had him. Powerful Nick Wang on deck. Colin Larson's at first, has some wheels. Ball 3.
You gotta be very careful here because the last thing you need is Solier on base and getting Wang up with a hitter that is overdue in the series.
Payoff pitch in the top of the 5th. Laced to left over the glove of Nicholson. Larson takes a big turn. He's going to dig for 3. This will be close, but Larson slides in, and Solier takes the extra bag behind him. Well, now hold on here. Cooper Nicholson is having an extended conversation with the 3rd base umpire, Ryan Bleiberg. Mr. Bleiberg pointed down at the ground. Scott Forbes wants a clarification. And yeah, I think they called interference here on Nicholson. Larson was safe anyway. Break this down for us here, Wayne.
Yeah, it looks exactly what happened. And Nicholson was in the lane in which where the runner needed to get to, and I think that's what we saw in that case, because clearly there was an obstruction.
Colin Heineck talking things over with Boaz. Tar Heels do have some activity in the bullpen. 2 in scoring position, 2 out. And the question is this a stall tactic before Boaz is pulled from the game prior to facing Wang? Cameron Seagraves up and loosening.
You got to wonder about the lefty-righty matchup here, and that's exactly what's going on. There's going to be a change.
So Scott Forbes comes to the mound. 76 pitches for Folger Boaz today. Surrenders just 3 hits. And Cameron Seagraves will come out of the bullpen for the Tar Heels. Carolina to the pen for the first time. Boston College threatening to tie the game. Comes out of the bullpen. Fireballing sophomore from Ellerbe, North Carolina, gets the first call from Scott Forbes today.
Well, expect a 4-pitch mix here: fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. But you think this is really going to come down to the fastball. I think that's the primary pitch, otherwise known as his signature weapon. Now, we've seen it tap out at 98 miles an hour at certain points in time, but I'm expecting him to hover between 94 and 96. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup between him and Wang.
Nick Wang singled in the first. 11 home runs on the season. Tar Heels have kept him in the ballpark this series. But in a game where North Carolina leads 3-1, it's the power-hitting first baseman for the Eagles to take his cuts against a new pitcher for the Heels. And what's now a righty-righty matchup. Critical spot in this rubber game. Seagraves starts him with an off speed for ball 1.
Yeah, I'm not surprised with the slider, which is his second best pitch, and he likes throwing it to right-handed hitters, which means he's going to want Wang to start to chase.
Wang was really fooled by the slider of Caden Glauber yesterday.
Well, a lot of hitters were fooled by Caden Glauber yesterday. But yes, Matt, to your point. And I think that's where, as we're seeing right away, that's where North Carolina is going with the slider from a righty to Wang.
Check swing, held up, ball 3. You do have first base open with 2 outs. And the lighter hitting Ty Minolfi on deck. Does Wang swing away on a 3-0 count? Taking all the way, it's a 4-pitch walk. So Seagraves does not give Wang anything to hit. It loads the bases for the Eagles. And it brings Ty Minolfi to the plate.
And it's probably a better matchup for Seagraves in comparison to Wang, where he could probably keep Minolfi on the ground, where Wang obviously is the singular offensive threat to be a home run hitter for Boston College.
Bases juiced, 2 out. Minolfi's 0 for 2 with 2 ground balls. Force at every base.
And there's that fastball. 95 on the outer part. So I think this is a better fit for Seagraves, where he can go with his fastball more than his slider. A
1. Minolfi flies it to right, Drifting back, and it's down, up against the wall. This will empty the bases. Wang motoring in. Boston College on top. Hargett couldn't make the catch in right field, and the Eagles load the bases and promptly unload them.
Tough play for Hargett. Ball is jolted out into right field by Manolfi. All expecting him to probably hit it on the ground, but he jolts it in, and Hargett just misplays it, and it just bounces off his glove and just gets out of his way.
So Manolfi with an RBI double to drive in 3, and the threat not done with Jack Toomey at the plate and a man in scoring position.
This is Boston College taking a page out of the playbook of North Carolina in terms of putting up a crooked number and the way they've been able to do it. It's a little off script for them.
To the left center field gap off the bat of Toomey. Eagles lead by 2. What a way to continue your on-base streak if you're Jack Toomey. 14 games now.
It's been a rough game for Seagraves to come into, and Toomey just jolts that into left center field and bringing in another run for the slugging Boston College Eagles.
Big inning for Bird Ball. Tar Heels had chances to put even more crooked numbers on the board. Instead, it was just a 2-run lead going to this top of the 5th. BC gets Boaz out of the game, and they capitalize in a big way.
Matt, this goes back to the point that you've mentioned multiple times during the series. North Carolina hasn't had that. They haven't taken advantage of those opportunities to break it open. And now, since they haven't, they're allowing Boston College in, and look what they've been able to do.
Carter Hendrickson's 0 for 1 with a walk today. Ball 2. Three and nothing on Hendrickson.
This is not exactly how Seagraves thought that things would work out, and you can already see the North Carolina bullpen is starting to get together and get some action going.
Four-pitch walk, 2 on, 2 out. Heineck to the mound to talk to Seagraves. In a 5th inning that is unraveled for the Tar Heels. Matthew Mateus up and going in the Tar Heel pen. Worked Thursday, inducing a double play. And Scott Forbes will trot to the mound. Tough day for Cameron Seagraves. Came into the game with the Tar Heels ahead 3-1. He leaves it with Boston College on top by a pair. The Eagles threatening for more in the 5th.
Now the bats just exploded for them, and they took advantage of opportunities. You know, tough play by Hargett in right field, not being able to come down with that ball. And, you know, the walk to Wang sets everything up, and then here we go. More driving of the baseball into the outfield. And it comes back to the point that North Carolina hasn't been able to put up the crooked numbers or to really bust the game open when they had opportunities. And now you put yourself in a position where you have to go to Matthew Mateus far earlier in this ball game than you really anticipated.
Third pitcher of the game for the Tar Heels, 2 outs, top of the 5th. 13th appearance of the season for the veteran right-hander. He will face Luke Gallo, who will be the 9th batter of the inning for BC. Leadoff walk, then 2 outs, but since then, 5 straight Eagles have reached. The big blow, Ty Manolfi, with a bases clearing double into right field. Jack Toomey followed with a double of his own to drive in Manolfi. It's Toomey at second after the double. Carter Hendrickson walked. He's at first. Gallo 0 for 2. And a first pitch ball from Mateus.
See, we haven't gotten accustomed to seeing crooked numbers being put up on the scoreboard by Boston College this series, but now seeing at least a 4 spot in the 5th inning is exactly what they needed.
Gallo, and BC keeps the line moving. Toomey waved around third, and Boston College adds another. Men at the corners, 2 down, 6-3 Eagles.
Just solid contact here, and goes down and pulls it out, and Gallo gets another RBI for Boston College.
So the Eagles bat around in the 5th. Boaz was in a groove. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings in the 3rd and 4th. Gunnar Johnson got this whole party started with a leadoff walk. Johnson fooled by that one. 0-2.
Yeah, you want to see with Mateus mixing in that splitter a little bit too. Yeah, it's because you got to change the eye level of these hitters, because Boston College is very comfortable at the plate right now.
5 runs home in the frame, and make it 6 on a wild one. Hendrickson trots in from third. Touchdown for the Eagles in the 5th inning.
So they've decided small ball is not their brand for this ball game. And like I keep on saying, they're taking a page out of the North Carolina offensive playbook. 6 runs this inning and still going.
Still a man in scoring position. Gallo went to second on the wild pitch. Whole lot of outs to work with offensively. If you're North Carolina, this game is far from over. But Tar Heels are going to have to win a high-scoring affair if they want to win this series. Johnson, a bouncer to Nicholson. Fires it across the diamonds, and the 5th inning comes to a close. But Boston College played 6 runs, and the Eagles take a 4-run lead in the series finale. college campus more beautiful than Chapel Hill? Hard to find a scoreboard more beautiful for the Boston College Eagles than the one they see now. 6 in the 5th for BC as the Eagles go for a 4th series win in their first 5 to start ACC play. And Boston College turns this series rubber game on its head with a crooked number in the 5th. Long rest for Brady Miller. His second trip through the Tar Heel order much rockier than his first. At one juncture, he allowed 7 of 8 Tar Heels to reach, but has minimized the damage to 3 runs. And now starts the 3rd time through the Carolina 9 with Jake Schaffner beginning the bottom of the 5th.
So if you find yourself down 4 runs in this situation, Schaffner's the exact guy you want to lead off your inning. You need that catalyst. You need to get some energy. You need to get him on base to just at least respond in some way.
The Tar Heels trailed by 2 on a couple of occasions Tuesday night against Campbell. Wound up winning the game 5-4 in 14 innings in the wee hours of Wednesday morning. But Scott Forbes said his team was pressing a little bit offensively as they tried to make their way back in that game. Schaffner, hard hit ball straight into the shift. Solier handles it with ease. Schaffner almost beat it out. I think the Tar Heels are going to review this to see if he did.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good call because Schaffner was busting it out of the batter's box to get there, and knowing that what he needed to do made it far closer than it should have been. Well, I think he was in there. I think he might have snuck in. Yeah, you look at it again. Wang has to go up for the ball. Look, he's on the base. He's on the base before that ball lands in Wang's glove. So this is going to be overturned from our vantage point, from what we can see on our monitors.
You need indisputable evidence. The call in the field's incorrect. I think that last look we saw, that's pretty indisputable. Schaffner beat it out.
And Matt, as you have mentioned all series, the umpires have a multitude of angles and vantage points to look at the tape. And just from that one vantage point that we have, it was very clear that Schaffner was safe.
Let's take another look at it.
And Wang goes up. Ball's still not there. And look at Schaffner's foot. It is perfectly placed on the base. And Wang has yet to catch the ball. So clearly from our vantage point, Schaffner is going to be safe. And North Carolina's going to have a runner at first to start off the bottom of the 5th inning.
And that is the speed of Schaffner on full display. You're making the point, Wayne, that if you're the Tar Heels trying to flip the script, turn the page, use whatever cliche you want after that bad top of the 5th, just putting the leadoff man aboard, trying to get the line moving, that's where you need to start.
Yeah, and we talk about the whole concept of pressing. You can't hit a grand slam with no one on base. They need a spark. And who better to ignite that spark than Schaffner? And that play was just exactly what they need. Now, it can't end there, obviously. And, you know, you're not looking to recoup 4 runs immediately, but just start to get that momentum going and start to put pressure on Miller because he had a lot of rest. You know, and that's another big aspect of it. Here we go again. And Schaffner's foot is firmly on the base before that ball is in Nick Wang's glove.
That foot is down, and there is no ball for Wang.
I don't know why it's taken as long as it is because it's very clear from the one angle we have.
Again, the umpires have some different angles than what you see at home. So they're going through all the angles, but if you're Carolina, it looked pretty clean on the look we saw. So the longer this takes, the more that you're questioning it. But Greg Street has a message for us, and that's that Schaffner is safe. As we suspected, the challenge is successful for the Tar Heels. Multi-hit games every game of the series for Jake Schaffner.
And he is that quintessential offensive catalyst that starts the rally, hopefully, for North Carolina.
Gavin Gallagher's 2 for 2. First pitch is a ball. Brady Miller had a long wait in the BC dugout, and now facing the tough top of the Tar Heel order. Eye engagement warning,
which we've seen a couple of times in the series, you know, and even though it's been in play for a season, it's still an adjustment for some pitchers.
Gallagher, high fly ball left field. Larson to the track, to the wall, has it just shy of the fence. Gallagher gave it a ride, but the ballpark just contains it. Game of inches, Wayne.
Oh, without question. You couldn't ask for more from Gavin Gallagher. Maybe 6 inches, but you know, put a jolt into that ball into left center field. But as you said, Matt, the ballpark just held it in.
So Eric Paulson to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Talking about first baseman wearing 44 who are due. Paulson would fit the bill.
And you wouldn't mind seeing him turn on a pitch down the right field line into that corner, knowing that Schaffner can easily score from first base.
Schaffner took a big lead. Wayne keeps him honest. Schaffner by far the Tar Heels' biggest threat to steal. 14 of 15 this season. But on the flip side, if you're Carolina, I don't think you want to run yourself out of an inning here.
No, you want to make sure that you give Paulson every opportunity, but you also want to serve as a distraction on first base for Miller.
Paulson, a looper out to second. Underhand flip to second for 1. On to first, double play, Boston College. The Eagles, for the second straight inning, quell a Tar Heel threat with a twin killing and maintain their 4-run lead. Trailed the game 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Spun a double play to quell a North Carolina threat. Scored 6 in the top of the 5th. And then another double play to silence the Tar Heels in the bottom of the inning. So on to the 6th we go, and Jackson Rose comes into the game for Carolina. Rose seeing his first action of the series. First action since a heroic relief appearance against Campbell on Tuesday night. Talented freshman with a small ERA comes in the game for the Heels.
Yeah, and he falls into that category of a power lefty profile. And he's got that 3/4 arm slot that's going to be problematic for the Boston College hitters. And he's got great extension. But expect to see 4 pitches. The fastball, the slurve, slider, changeup, curveball. And that fastball is going to sit anywhere between 89 and 91.
So this is Tuesday night against Campbell. 6 innings out of the pen against the Camels.
And he was just dealing. You know, midweek game against Campbell's always a challenge, but he stepped up and really was just aces for North Carolina. 5 strikeouts over 6 innings, just a downright impressive performance and a thrilling bowl game for the Tar Heels in the victory.
Carolina earned that 5-4 win in 14. First pitch swinging by Kyle Wolf. And Rose begins his relief outing today with a 1-pitch ground out. Rose's mission this afternoon is the same as it was late Tuesday night. steady things, give your team a chance to rally. It worked against Campbell, a team that, by the way, plays a pretty similar style as Boston College. Scott Forbes said it was really nice for his team to be able to play Campbell specifically right before playing BC. First pitch strike on Larson. That's another thing on Rose. He works very quickly.
Yeah, and that's exactly what North Carolina needs right now. Is they just need good rhythm, quick up and down, and just get back on offense.
Larson reached on a fielder's choice, came around to score as part of the 6-run fifth for the Eagles. 2 balls and a strike. Jackson Rose on the mound for the Tar Heels has only conceded a run in 1 outing this year of the previous 8 times he's taken the mounds. Gave up a couple of runs against Bucknell in a midweek start on March 10th.
I think there's a little frustration with the home plate umpire on some of those calls. Definitely saw it with Boaz. Now the frustration continues over with Jackson Rose.
And Rose walks Larson. Scott Forbes into his bullpen, deeper into his bullpen than he probably would have liked today. Cameron Paget is up and loosening for the Tar Heels behind Rose. You see him far right side of your screen. Boaz went 4 2/3, and Cameron Seagraves does not record an out, gives up 4 earned runs. Third of an inning for Matthew Mateus. Now it's Rose. Caden Glauber nearly 100 pitches yesterday, so he's down for the count today. Carolina has not touched Tom Shimoleski in this weekend series. Saw Paget for an inning in the series opener. Would they go to Walker McDuffie a 3rd straight day? Obviously, that would depend on if Carolina can rally back in this game. Close play at first. Paulson wants to take another look at it.
Yeah, they want to see if there's a possibility there. Yep. They're going.
So the umpires will take a look to see if Rose picked off Larson. Take a look at that. Rose had a key pickoff on Tuesday night against Campbell. 10th inning. The Camels put the leadoff man aboard via a walk and then pinch ran. And Rose picked off the pinch runner, quelled the Camels' threat right there. Carolina went on to win the game in 14 innings.
Yeah, Paulson was pretty adamant for him to think that this play was worthy of a review, thinking that they had Larson at first base with the pickoff.
So 2 umpires over there taking a look. It's crew chief Greg Street as well as the 3rd base umpire Ryan Bleiberg. Here's a look for you. Tag comes in.
He might have got him.
He might have gotten him.
Yeah.
Is that oven mitt on the left hand of Larson back on the bag? I don't think so there, but you're kind of blocked to the corner of the bag with Paulson's foot. Let's see what Greg Street has to say. He's out. Picked him off.
Pick off. That's a great job by Paulson, knowing to challenge that call, and also you're dealing with a very elite defender at first base. So fantastic job by Paulson.
That's critical because it empties the bases with Julio Solier at the plate. Solier banged a double in the 5th, came around to score. Second 2-bagger of the series. Interestingly enough, Solier, owner of 38 singles this year, His only 2 hits all weekend have been doubles.
And now you're starting to see him get warm. And that doesn't bode well for North Carolina. So the quicker you can get out of this situation, the better off you're going to be, and especially with Wang up next.
He said he's getting warm. Is that a difference for being hot?
Yeah, I do
Okay.
in this case, because he's been kind of chilly all series.
1-2.
For the season, he's been hot. The series, he's been chilly.
Meteorologist McDonald. 1-2 count on the BC shortstop. Rose induces a foul ball to the right.
You know, when you do your homework on these series and you're looking at players and, you know, you study Solier, and then you're expecting him to fit the script, and he hasn't until now. It's starting.
Rose deals. Swing and a miss. Heineck picks up the ball in the dirt. On to first. And thanks to the pickoff, Rose faces the minimum in the 6th. Tar Heels still with work to do, though. In Virginia, the last 2 weekends, dominant. That's probably not the adjective you'd use to describe his afternoon today, but Miller is in line for the win for Boston College, and he's navigated some trouble the last few innings thanks to his defense.
Yeah, I would kind of consider it bend, don't break. You know, North Carolina has had their opportunities. They've taken a few shots on him, but they haven't had the big explosive inning that they really needed to knock Miller out of the game. And he's just hanging around and did exactly what he needed to do to allow Boston College to get back into this.
Over 90 pitches each of his last 2 starts. He's sub 80 as he begins the last of the 6th, dealing with 4, 5, and 6 in the Carolina order.
And it's almost as if North Carolina has to use the same approach that they had last inning until it blew up on them. Is Winslow's going to get on. They have to constantly continue to try to grind out runs.
Winslow fists a pop-up. Wang gives it a look down in the seats. It is interesting how the tenor of this game flipped in these middle innings. Boston College turns a couple of double plays after the Tar Heels had spun 6 of them over the course of this series. The Eagles with a big inning, stringing together hits in the 5th, score 6 runs. Winslow over the head of Manolfi into right center field, rolling toward the track. Big turn from Winslow, he's thinking too. Here comes the throw, it's dropped by Solier. Winslow could have been out if Solier held on to that ball. Instead he drops it, it's a leadoff double for the Tar Heels.
They luck out on that play. It's one thing to be aggressive, but then there's something to be overly aggressive, and you have to question whether this was overly aggressive on Winslow's part, trying to do too much. Great contact, driving the ball into right center field, But the question really here is, should he have tried to get in second? Because he would have been dead to straight if the ball was held on to.
Is that brain a little ahead of the hands there for Solier, thinking about putting the tag down on Winslow?
I think that's exactly it. You know, knowing that he's got in Solier's head, he knows he has a beat, but probably thinking too quickly on it.
So this is a spot where if you're Carolina, you've got to capitalize. Team leader in average and Owen Hull up. Leadoff in scoring position. Bottom of inning 6, trailing by 4 in the rubber game of a ranked-on-ranked series.
And it goes back to the same philosophy. You don't have to do too much here. Just keep it going.
Hull almost hit by that one. Wheels have pounded out 8 hits against Miller. How about this? More hits with runners in scoring position today compared to the first 2 games of the series, yet Carolina still trails the game by 4.
And that was a big theme over the first 2 bowl games of the series in terms of what North Carolina couldn't do with runners in scoring position and leaving runners on base. And today they've done a better job, but find themselves 4 runs down because it goes back to the same thing. They couldn't break it open.
Hull walks, 2 on, nobody out. And perhaps Miller nearing the end of the line. Second free pass issued by the lefty as his teammates gather around him. Tar Heels with 2 on, nobody out. Seems like a classic stall tactic. Everybody looking toward the dugout. Now Tanner Donato begins his walk from the first base side.
They start looking in the dugout, then they start looking at the bullpen to see if there's anyone coming out.
There's the point from Tanner Donato. And the day ends for Miller. So he works into the 6th. Sophomore lefty done for Boston College. Tar Heels trying to make a comeback. New pitcher for BC. Boston College is day done after 5 innings and change and 85 pitches. What'd you see, Wayne?
We talked about it the last inning. You know, bend don't break. This was not the performance that we've seen in the previous 2 weekends from Miller, but I think it goes back to the most important thing. He kept Boston College in the ball game and allowed for the offense to explode the way they did. So started off strong, but just could not keep it together for what he had been previously doing. But now it's a little bit of a different story because Boston College has a 4-run lead.
Kyle Kipp, the new hurler for the Eagles. 9th appearance of the season, first of the series for Kipp. He's allowed just 3 earned runs over his last nearly 15 innings of work.
So expect to see a heavy fastball here. There's going to be some sink to it, a little bit of run. But the big thing you got to pick up on, he's slightly deceptive with his delivery. And, you know, that's what the Carolina hitters are going to have to quickly identify.
Yeah.
First pitch ball on Colin Hynek, and the first pitch thrown by Kyle Kipp. Miller in the dugout having a snack. Normally in a series finale, you cannot eat a Chick-fil-A biscuit, but today's a Saturday series finale.
Go figure, right, Matt? Well, you know, hey, he pitched well enough, and kept Boston College in the game. Why not a snack?
Fuel yourself up. 3-0 counts on the catcher from the state that calls Chick-fil-A home, Colin Hynek.
Well, remember last year it was the peanut butter sandwiches with Luke Stevenson?
That's right, yes.
So every ball player has a different way of fueling and refueling.
3-1. A walk to Hynek would bring the tying run to the plate for the Heels. Still a long way to go in this game despite the large lead for Boston College. Hynek walks, bases loaded, nobody out.
This is a great start for North Carolina this inning. Very patient at bats, you know, making the pitches work. And now Kip's going to have to face Howe. And it's a little bit of a different perspective for Howe.
Tyler Howe's 0 for 1 today, was hit by a pitch his second time up. Couple of opposite field knocks yesterday for the freshman. And the first pitch strike as he hits with the bases loaded.
Now, I don't see Kip really going to rely heavily on the fastball here to Howe. I would expect, you know, that slider, splitter, changeup to kind of come into play in this at bat.
Howe, bouncing ball, flagged at third by Gallo, to second for 1, on to first. Wang makes the stretch. Just 1 out. Boston College wants to look at it, though. Run does score. Winslow comes in to make it 7-4. Will it be 1 out or 2?
So ball is hit to third baseman. A little hesitation there to get the out at second. And I don't see it at first.
No.
I don't see it.
And I think the BC dugout agrees, even if Manolfi was excited and wanted to take a look at that. Probably would be a bad use of a challenge. So now men at the corners, 1 out for Cooper Nicholson in what's now a 3-run game. For 2 out of the 8 hole for the Heels.
Yeah.
But we talked at the outset of the series where Nicholson's been, and he's been red hot. And yet again, this is your 8th hitter in the lineup, and another reason why you like hitting him down in the order for situations just like this.
Tags it foul for strike 2. Even as Nicholson's bat is heated up throughout the year, he's maintained a grip on the 8th spot in the order.
And you just throw away batting order in this situation, and you still look at it. This is where you want Nicholson in this type of situation.
Kip's 1-2. Fly ball left field. Larson twisting back on it. Onto the track. Still carrying. Near the fence, Larson's got it. Out number 2. It'll score another run. Hull comes in, 7-5.
The type of baseball you want to see from North Carolina in this case is that you have quality at-bats and productive outs while putting up crooked numbers. So this bodes well for North Carolina that they don't have to get all 4 right away. Just start to chip because there's plenty of time in the ball game, and that's exactly what they're doing here.
Perry Hargett's day is done. And Boston College going to a right-hander out of the bullpen. The Tar Heels call upon Carter French. French, a mainstay in the outfield platoon the last couple of years, became an everyday starter by the end of last season. Senior from Tampa swings at the first pitch. Fly ball to center. Hendrickson has it, and on one pitch, French is done. Carolina cuts the deficit in half, though. 7-5 game after 6. College won it 6-1 Thursday night in the series opener. North Carolina responded with a 5-2 win yesterday. BC's 6-run fifth gave the Eagles, at that time, a 4-run advantage. North Carolina's cut the deficit in half. And it's a 7-5 game on to the 7th inning. Jackson Rose for his second inning of relief work for the Tar Heels, facing the powerful Nick Wang for Boston College.
Well, if you're North Carolina, you're glad what happened last inning is just you chipped away. You put a 2 spot on the board, knowing that you have 3 at-bats left in this ball game to make up the deficit.
Jackson Rose, 6 strong relief innings against Campbell Tuesday night. First appearance of this series. Used a pickoff to face the minimum 3 in the 6th. Well behind Nick Wang, though, 3-0.
You gotta wonder if this is really a command control issue or you're just trying to be smart pitching against Wang right now, knowing that you have an open base, you have 3 open bases, but just trying to be smart here.
Wang taking all the way, 3-1. Timon Alfie on deck. Jack Toomey follows him. Their back-to-back doubles added to the damage in the 5th. Wang walks to begin the 7th. Rose did walk 3 over his 6 innings Tuesday night, but did not allow any of those walks to come in and score. Timon Alfie, his first hit of the series, a double to right field with the bases loaded back in the 5th. Twisted around Perry Hargett. And an eye engagement warning on the Tar Heels.
It's like the 3rd of the series with that.
And Alfie flashes the bunt, takes strike 1. Freshman year at the University of Dayton. He was a flyer in the Atlantic 10 Conference. He was playing in the NECBL, hit the transfer portal after a coaching change at Dayton. putting up good numbers in that college summer league. Obviously right in Boston College's backyard, caught the attention of the coaches. Now is a Boston College Eagle playing every day.
And he kind of fits the mold of what Coach Interdonato is looking for. Players who are coachable, players that are willing to be coached, want to be coached, and there's time. I think the big thing he has stressed to us, it was all about development in the transfer portal. Some programs look at it as a one and done to fill certain spots. He's looking at the portal from a perspective of he wants players that he can get out of it who will be at Boston College for 2-3 years.
Interdonato has pointed to Manalfi's growth in the weight room since his time stepping foot on campus. Almost hit by that one, 1-2. Second inning for Jackson Rose. Freshman who made his college debut first week of the season for the Tar Heels. Has become a trusted piece in his first year in Chapel Hill. Strikes out Manalfi. Second strikeout for Rose out of the pen.
That's a great approach by Rose and nice location of the pitch. Just a tough pitch that Manalfi couldn't handle.
ACC debut for Jackson Rose. All of his previous work has come against non-conference foes. It's included teams like ECU and South Carolina, some quality opponents. He hits Toomey. 2 on, 1 out.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that we're seeing with North Carolina and freshman pitchers is just gradually getting them up to speed when it comes to conference play and not just throwing them in. But Matt, to your point, you know, ECU and South Carolina and Campbell are, you know, fantastic midweek bowl games, and one happens to be an SEC bowl club. So, you know, getting great practice and great reps and getting ready to come into conference play. And let's face it, he's going to be a very important arm coming out of that bullpen in the stretch run for North Carolina.
Making sure Toomey's okay. Answer to that seems to be yes. So now Rose in a jam. 2 on, 1 out. Carter Hendrickson at the plate. What a series Hendrickson has had without the benefit of a base hit. 3 hit by pitches for Hendrickson to go with 3 walks. Sack fly as well on Thursday night.
Kind of falls under the old adage, a walk is as good as a hit. And very productive series without, you know, having the benefit of putting the ball in play.
2-0. Hendrickson at the start of play today, Wayne. Average 226, on base percentage 468.
The numbers tell so many different stories, but you look at it on base percentage and it's pushing 500.
Swings at that one, bounces it foul.
Well, it's also in the case of Solea, where you look at the OPS, and most of that OPS is made up of doubles, and you know, a lion's share of them are singles, but his extra base hits are just essentially doubles and a couple of triples.
Bouncing ball up the middle, could be 2. Gallagher to the bag for 1. Tar Heels turn another double play. 7th this series, 29th on the year. Time to stretch, 7-5.
ESPN all in one place. Visit activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
Top of the order for North Carolina in the home half of the 7th. It's the rubber game of a 3-game series between two top 25 teams. Both the Tar Heels and the Boston College Eagles have won 3 of their first 4 ACC series. They'll be halfway through conference play at the conclusion of this game. BC went up 7-3 with a big 5th inning, scoring 6 runs. Tar Heels have since cut that deficit in half. And a golden chance now at the top of the order in the last of the 7th to cut even further into the deficit. Jake Schaffner has 2 hits today.
And it's exactly yet again the ball player you want up in this situation to ignite a spark for the Tar Heels offense. He tried to do that a couple of innings ago, but it did not bode well. And it's time again for him to do that.
Kyle Kipp continues on the mound for Boston College. First clean inning for Kipp. Came in for starter Brady Miller, who faced 2 before being lifted in the 6th. Kipp can give you length. He's worked as many as 4 innings this year. 2 innings in his last appearance against Virginia last weekend. 3-1 on Schaffner.
And he's transitioned from being a starter into a high leverage reliever, which bodes well for Boston College in this situation because of the ability to give length.
Full count on the Carolina leadoff man. BC used length out of their pen Thursday in the series opener with Cesar Gonzalez working 3. In relief of A.J. Colaruso's 6-inning start. Schaffner walks, tying run to the plate for the Heels.
I still think that's the blueprint that every ACC ball club would love to utilize in conference play. Starter give you a solid 6, and then you have one arm that comes out and gives you a solid 3. And that's exactly what worked well for Boston College on Thursday night.
Gavin Gallagher, 2 hits earlier today, solo home run yesterday. Tying for the team lead in long balls with Cooper Nicholson. 7 this year. And a first pitch breaker from Kipp flutters away for ball 1.
Gallagher just missed the ball clearing the fence by a matter of inches in his last at bat. Same location yesterday, but it cleared the fence. So you're wondering whether or not he's got it again in him today.
2-0.
It's a good take on Gallagher's part. Close pitch, but waiting for exactly what he wants to swing at.
Taking all the way. 3 balls, no strikes. Danger zone for Kyle Kipp.
And so you got to wonder, are you going to come back with another fastball, or are you just going to try to work in a slider here?
He goes fastball, and he walks Gallagher on 4 pitches. Schaffner to second. That brings the go-ahead run to the plate in the form of Eric Paulson. Offensive timeout by Carolina. So Paulson is 0 for 3 on this game. He's struck out, he's hit into a double play. He has some power. If you're Carolina, do you dare bunt here? Give up an out, put 2 into scoring position, get yourself to a spot where you've got a couple of cracks to tie the game with 1 hit.
It's a really intriguing situation because, you look at Paulson and he gives, for all intentions, he gives you that perspective of he could drive the ball, and he has that possibility. But also, you don't want to, run it out of an inning with a double play of any capacity. So, do you move the 2 runners in the score position and, to your point, have the 2 cracks, or do you, roll the dice and see if Paulson can drive one into the corners of the outfield?
Extended conversation with the head coach and the batter.
That conversation has to kind of lead to, let's see Kip throw, and don't help on anything unless it's in your dead red zone.
Back-to-back walks for Kyle Kip to start this 7th. And another ball to begin Paulson's at bat.
Yeah, they're gonna make him work, and Kip is gonna have to prove to North Carolina that he can throw a strike before North Carolina offers it anything.
Ball 2. 7 in a row out of the zone.
And this is a good move by Wang. Just, you know, give him a breather. Another example of great veteran leadership demonstrated by Nick Wang.
Double barrel action in the Boston College bullpen down the right field line. John Kwiatkowski, who pitched yesterday, up and throwing, as is Sean Hard, who we have not seen in the series. Hard, the right-hander, 32. Kwiatkowski, the lefty, 37.
So if Kip is having such a difficult time finding the strike zone with Paulson, you got to wonder, why aren't you pulling them? Because obviously the advantage weighs heavily in Paulson's favor, not just by count, but just by righty versus lefty matchup here.
2-0 driven to left. Larson to the track, has it in front of the fence. Schaffner holds at second. Tar Heels have given several balls a ride to left. It's been a dead zone for Carolina today, though.
You gotta wonder, though, if he was given a green light in that situation, given the fact that Kip couldn't find a strike zone with a road map. And that was very concerning in that situation, because you had no advancement there. And it kind of goes against the whole philosophy of the quality at bat that Coach Forbes has preached religiously this season.
Macon Winslow has back-to-back doubles. A third straight two-bagger here would be colossal, and Kip fires in another first pitch ball. But you're right, Wayne. That was ticketed toward a quality at bat with the 2-0 hitters count.
My mindset is you have to allow the pitcher to prove to you that they can throw a strike, and Kip was not doing it, and he still isn't. So you have to, you hate to revisit it, but you have to in that case. You got 2 runners on base, and it's nobody out, and you're down 2, and the pitcher is having a terrible time trying to locate anything. You don't like saying it, but like you might have to put the bat on the shoulders for a couple of pitches.
Ball 3 to Winslow.
And that's exactly what Winslow's doing. He knows that that pitcher's struggling out there. So why help him out? Why give him the chance to breathe?
It's a 3-0 count. Everybody's going to the mound for BC. And stranger things have happened. I'd be shocked if they pulled a pitcher in a 3-0 count here.
Yeah, and if I'm a relief pitcher, do you want to inherit that? No.
The thought is you get through Winslow here and you bring in Kwiatkowski for a lefty-lefty with Hull, probably. That
would be in my opinion, that's the logical move, Matt. Maybe this is just another strategic move to get more out of the bullpen, and also to give Kip a breather, because this might be more of a mental break than anything else, because he can't find the strike zone, and that just adds to the frustration, regardless of the effort that he's putting in.
And this is uncharacteristic of Kip. He's issued just 2 walks since March 9th. That's not a small sample size. It's 8 innings of work prior to this outing.
Yeah, and he lives in the bottom of the strike zone too. And he's missing all over the place. That's his bread and butter, and it's not clicking.
Winslow walks. Bases loaded, 1 out for the Tar Heels. And this will be the end of the line. The Tar Heel leader in batting average coming to the plate, and Todd Interdonato trusted Kyle Kipp to go back out there. But the base is loaded, courtesy of walks. Kwiatkowski coming in for BC. Lead. It is in danger here in the last of the seventh. The base is loaded for North Carolina. Tar Heels have created traffic on the bases. They have more hits with runners in scoring position today than the first two games of the series combined. But yet here's a moment for the Tar Heels where a clutch hit would do wonders.
Yeah, they need to just open it up right now. And they have to take advantage of the situation. Now, they didn't with Paulson's at-bat, which was surprising, given what Kipp was going through. And now they got to face Kwiatkowski. And the big thing that they're going to have to look at with Kwiatkowski is that he's a rather large pitcher, 6'6", and he has difficult angles to pick up with his pitches. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of deception. And here's the other thing, too. A lot of raw power with Kwiatkowski. So the deception with the raw power is what the key things that you're going to see on top of his fastball.
He'll face Owen Hall in a lefty-lefty matchup. Boshamer Stadium comes alive with the home team down 2 in the last of the seventh. First pitch gets away. Heels within a run.
It's exactly what North Carolina needed in that situation. You got to capitalize on these mistakes, and this is what you want Hull to be dealing with right now. And look at the infield in terms of their defensive alignment. They're playing in because they know anything on the ground could score too.
Audible groan after Hull swings through the 1-0.
Yeah, don't be surprised if Kwiatkowski starts throwing sliders and curveballs in there.
Second straight day on the mound for the team leader in appearances for Boston College.
So don't be fooled by the size. The size might give you the impression that you're going to see a 95 to 97. He lives in the low 90s, but then plays off of his secondary pitches like the slider, curveball, and changeup. But it seems like he's missing on them right now.
Hall to the right side, past the drawn-in infields. Throw to the plate. Hall safe at second. Tar Heels on top. From a 7-3 deficit to an 8-7 lead.
have a day. Owen Hull driving that ball exactly on the right side of the infield, knowing it off the crack of the bat that he knew 2 runs were coming in. And then the big thing is take advantage of the throw by Toomey to move into second base. No, looking at it, and takes it right off, knowing that every run counts in this situation. Job well done, Owen Hull.
3 runs in the frame for the Tar Heels. Hull still in scoring position, only 1 out. And that was the first hit of the inning. Boston College's inability, specifically Kyle Kipp's inability to throw strikes, dooms BC. That one to the backstop. Hull to third. Oh, it clipped Heineck on the way by. So Hull will have to go back to second, but it is 2 on 1 out.
Yeah, Heineck went immediately talking about that. He was hit by the pitch there. Doesn't even waste time. He's patting on his thigh, knowing that contact was made.
North Carolina has regained the lead after surrendering a 6-run inning in the 5th. Tyler Howe trying to add to the lead. Told you when BC went up 7-3, this ball game was far from over. It still is far from over.
And now you're playing North Carolina baseball. This is the ball game that they're accustomed to. But they can't continue to leave runners in scoring position. Anytime that there's a runner out there, they have to capitalize at this juncture of the ball game.
1-2 on Howe. Only 4 left on for Carolina. They've hit into a couple of double plays today. High scoring series finale between 2 ranked teams. 1-2. Howe holds up.
Good hold by Howe on that pitch, because Kwiatkowski's not going to blow the ball by them. It's just that they have to be prepared for the deception, and also if he's going to come at them with a slider or a change.
Howe to the right side, to second for 1, on to first, and Howe is out on a double play. Another double play turned by Boston College. Their 3rd of the game. Heels lead though. Heels, and against a drawn-in Boston College infield, gives Carolina the lead.
That's not only strategic hitting on Owen Hull's part, but it's just the spark that they needed to get that rally going and to eventually take the lead against Boston College.
This was a 7-3 game that the Eagles led in the middle of the 5th. 2 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th for North Carolina. We go to the 8th with BC down a run. And the Eagles, they'll send up 6, 7, and 8 here. Luke Gallo, Gunnar Johnson, Kyle Wolf. Gallo 1 for 3. Jackson Rose, a 3rd inning of relief work for the Tar Heels. He's walked a couple and hit a batter. But just like Tuesday night against Campbell, those free passes have not hurt the freshman lefty.
But he's also been throwing strikes. I think that's the important thing, and I think North Carolina feels that if they can get through this inning with him unscathed, that it puts them in a great position for the 9th in terms of matchups, even if they have to go to a guy like McDuffie in a real emergency situation. But it all comes down to what Rose can do and really neutralize Boston College here.
Leadoff walk to Gallo, and the tying run aboard for BC. As we said when the Heels took the lead in the 7th, this game far from over.
And both ball clubs are grinding, as evident all throughout the series. But, you know, it's going to come down to which ball club can be far more effective on the mound when it comes to throwing strikes.
Offensive timeout for Boston College.
Now, your thought has to be this conversation is going to involve in some form of a bunt. Even with Gunnar Johnson coming up after Luke Gallo on first base. But that's what Boston College has been doing all series. So are you willing to give up an out to move a runner into scoring position for the 8th and 9th hitters in your lineup?
For the 3rd consecutive day, Walker McDuffie's loosening in the Tar Heel pen. 2 innings Thursday, 1 inning last night. He is loosening behind Jackson Rose.
I think you really don't go to McDuffie unless you really have the lead, but
here comes Coach Forbes. He's going to do it right now, Wayne.
He's going for it. I probably would have held him to the 9th, but Coach Forbes is a lot smarter than I am.
Walker McDuffie for the 3rd straight day into the ballgame for the Tar Heels. Rose, he walks 3, 1 strikeout. And Rose, for the North Carolina Tar Heels, sees his day come to a close.
This is a gutsy call. This is a real gutsy call by Coach Forbes. But I also know, I believe that, you know, he knows that this game is really important because you want to win the series. And Walker McDuffie's one of your trustworthy arms coming out. And, you know, you want to go with that. But, you know, he's thrown a lot, which is a little bit of a concern. This is his 3rd consecutive day of pitching. And, you know, high leverage situation. You're only up by 1. And the question is he expected to get 6 outs, or is it just, you know, go as you see how he goes?
Team leader in appearances, out for an 18th time this year and 4th consecutive game for the Heels. Will face Gunnar Johnson for Boston College. Johnson drops the bunt down. McDuffie looks at second, takes the sure out at first, tying a run to scoring position for BC.
So it's give up the at-bat to move a runner into scoring position, which has basically been their blueprint for most of the series. But then we keep on going back to the thought process. This is the bottom portion of your lineup unless there's going to be a lineup change.
So Kyle Wolf is due to hit. Wolf doubled back in the second, but it sure looks like Todd Interdonato is going to call a pinch hitter, and he will. It's Danny Serwek, who started at DH the first 2 games of the series. Sophomore from Westchester, Pennsylvania. Serwek 0 for 7, a walk, a hit by pitch this series. Tying run at second, 1 down in the 8th. First pitch ball from McDuffie.
And we know what you're going to see from McDuffie. It's fastball slider. That's exactly what you're going to get from him. But I still think this is going to be a per bat situation for him.
Serwek loops it on the infields. Gallagher makes the catch, out number 2. So weak pop up for the second out. It holds the runner. Talking before the series to Scott Forbes, he was not necessarily worried about BC's ability to score 1 run at a time with the small ball. It was the big inning that worried you. And the Eagles played that small ball to move Gallo into scoring position. But the inning falls on the shoulders of Colin Larson.
But as Coach Forbes responded with Walker McDuffie, you got to realize now it's probably a concern of his in terms of the small ball. So you have one of your best relievers out there, even though he's been worked extensively this week.
Gallo at second. Tar Heels scored 3 last half inning to take the lead. McDuffie trying to maintain the lead. Larson to the right side, skips to Gallagher. McDuffie hovering over to cover, and he gets there. Lead intact for the Heels. Gave the Eagles at the time a 4-run lead. North Carolina's erased it. Tar Heels Walker McDuffie came out of the bullpen, stranded a BC runner in scoring position in the top of the 8th. And it's a 1-run lead for the home team, trying to add some insurance in the last of inning number 8.
And that's exactly what they're looking for in the bottom third of the order, is just to put up a run or two of insurance, just to allow whoever comes in to pitch the ninth to breathe a little bit, which has been very important because North Carolina hasn't in the series capitalized on the big innings as they needed to. So now this is another way that they just need to give themselves some breathing room in this situation.
New pitcher for Boston College. Their fourth of the game is the graduate right-hander Sean Hard. Hard is in year 5 at Boston College, 9th appearance of the season.
You look at him, he looks like a pro pitcher in terms of his frame. Velocity on the fastball is going to hover between 92 and 94. He's got a good slider. Expect to see that against right-handed hitters. He's got a slower curveball, and then he throws a changeup as well. But look at that fastball slider mix-up. That's where he's going to really live and die as a pitcher.
Cooper Nicholson leads off for Carolina, 8-9-1 for the Tar Heels. First pitch strike from Hard. Carolina scored their 3 runs in the 7th with just 1 hit. 3 walks, and a hit batter.
Yeah. Come on, Charlie, let's go, baby.
Carolina loves the fact they're going to get Jake Schaffner up at least 1 more time. Due to hit third this inning.
Yeah.
2 on Nicholson. Rubber game of a ranked-on-ranked series. BC victorious 6-1 Thursday night. Tar Heels won it 5-2 yesterday. Look out, Coach Forbes in the third base coach's box.
And Nicholson was on that one.
Tapper off the plate.
Now, if you're Nicholson, you're just looking for something good that you could put in play hard. I think that's the important thing, especially if you're looking at how the defensive shift is set up on the left side, the infield for him.
Skipped in the dirt to even the count, 2-2. Boston College, 3 fielders on the left side of the infield. That's the play against Nicholson. We've seen it from a lot of ACC teams this year. Ball 3.
And the big thing with that is it's very hard for a hitter to kind of change a philosophy in that way, because your thought process is you just want to muscle through the shift. But teams are giving Nicholson a lot of real estate on the right side of the infield.
Strike 3 called. Nicholson thought it was ball 4, but Hard comes out of the bullpen and freezes the Tar Heel third baseman.
Yeah, that primary weapon of the 92 to 94 mile per hour fastball just froze Nicholson, but the big thing there was Gunnar Johnson and the presentation to the home plate umpire. We've seen it all series with him. You know, now you know why he's in the starting lineup. He does an excellent job of framing and pitch receiving, and on top of it, has a good series with the bat.
Carter French for the Tar Heels came into the game to replace Perry Hargett a couple of innings ago. 0 for 1 today with a fly out to center. Plans to attend medical school after baseball's done. They call him the doctor.
Anytime that you can see a student athlete major in biology, you tip your cap. Between the lab hours, the practice hours, the course hours, young man's working extremely hard, both inside the classroom and here at the ballpark.
Smart player who had the opportunity to go play football in the Ivy League. Chose baseball at North Carolina.
It's good when you can have those options.
There's some good options to have in life. Pop up Tough play, shallow left, long run for Larson. Larson still coming on into a slide, and he's got it. He's played an impressive left field all series.
I've liked the way he's played left field, and he doesn't have a problem leaving his feet. And that says a lot for a left field. Look at this, ball's tailing off, and you're in that weird time of the day here where there's a little wind picking up, and Larson stays with it. He's been a very pleasant surprise in this series, watching him play left field.
Sophomore for the Eagles. Now Jake Schaffner for Carolina, top of the order. Schaffner, a couple of hits and a walk today. He's reached base 3 straight times.
Schaffner plays a very fun brand of baseball, and yet again, look at what they're giving him.
Fisted to the right side of the infield, nestles in the glove of Minolfi. Tar Heels go in order. Boston College down to their final 3 outs. Eagles need a run. Eagles 3 outs away from a series victory in a top 25 showdown in Chapel Hill. They've erased a 4-run deficit today. Walker McDuffie's back to the mound. He'll face the top of the BC order. And a first pitch ball to Julio Solier. Solier, Wang, Minolfi for the Eagles. McDuffie pitching for a 3rd straight day. Multiple innings for a 2nd of those 3 appearances.
You gotta wonder in this 9th inning, is Coach Forbes gonna manage this batter by batter, or is he just gonna have McDuffie do what he does?
2-1 on Solier. Talented offensive player, talented defensive player. Couple of doubles this series, but for the most part held in check. Breaking ball fouled off.
This is a very problematic inning for North Carolina because you have Solier, who's up right now, and then you have Wang, and neither one of those ball players have lived up to the back of their baseball card for the series, and they both do.
2-2. Got him swinging. 94 from McDuffie.
That's just big-time pitching there by McDuffie. Here it is. You try to hit my best, and boom, right there. Solier had no shot.
Something about series finales in the Tar Heels. Battled back to salvage Game 3 against Virginia. They came from behind to win the rubber game against Louisville a couple of weeks ago. Now they've come from behind to take the lead against Boston College. But the Eagles' most potent power threat, Nick Wang, faces Walker McDuffie.
Close pitch to take there. Good selection by McDuffie and where to place it.
McDuffie ready to go. He's locked in. Wang to the left side. Nicholson knocks it down, hesitates, throws. Paulson with the stretch. 2 away.
Perfect timing with that for Nicholson. Kept it in front of him. Momentum was moving towards first base, so it allowed him to get it, knowing that Wang is not the most fleet of foot in terms of running down the line. So job well done.
Last hope for Boston College is Timon Alfie. Bases clearing double in the 5th gave the Eagles the lead. Trying to keep the ball game in the series alive for BC. McDuffie is ready. 1-0. Popped up foul. Well out of play.
Well, the one thing that McDuffie has demonstrated over his 2 seasons in Chapel Hill is that the enormity of the moment doesn't bother him. He's unfazed by it. And regardless of how many days he's been used, he always wants the ball in the big situation.
Out there for a 3rd day in a row. Looper, left side, into left, base hit. Minolfi with a 2-out single. Tar Heels will face at least one more batter. Jack Toomey with a double of his own in the 5th will face McDuffie now. Consistent cleanup batter for the Eagles. Has reached base 3 out of 4 times today. Also walked and been hit by a pitch. First pitch strike at 94.
Yeah, that fastball is sitting lovely, and it's in the right aspect of the strike zone too. A lot of life on it.
Dialed it up to 96, didn't get the call.
Same type of location in the zone. McDuffie is playing in that outer quadrant.
Check swing. Can't hold it up. Boston College down to their final strike. One, two. Crowd ready to explode.
It's a close enough pitch.
Another 2-strike pitch. Ball 3.
McDuffie's nibbling a little bit on the outer part of the zone because he was getting that strike called early with the fastball, but now he's just going a little bit, an inch or 2 over where he needs to bring it in just a hair.
Payoff pitch with 2 out in the 9th. Got him swinging. Series to the Tar Heels. North Carolina dropped game 1. They trailed by 4 in the rubber game. And for the 2nd week in a row, North Carolina victorious in a ranked ACC showdown.
This was just pure heart and guts by North Carolina. Behind the 8 ball for most of the ball game, came back, just showed why they are one of the top teams in the country. Down but never out. Job well done by North Carolina all around this series after dropping the first ball game.
So the Tar Heels with the win to 27-5-1. Carolina 11-4 in ACC play. Boston College dips to 22-11, 9-6 in the conference. For our producer Nolan Sullivan, director Evan Badler, my broadcast partner Wayne McDonald, my name is Matt Krause, saying thanks so much for watching and farewell from Chapel Hill. Tar Heels win the series.